You're on.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christian von Lahr. You're watching Mind, Body, Spirit. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. John Gray. Say hello to Mr. Gray.
Well, I'm really happy to be with you.
Okay. Now, John, we just happened to run into you in the lobby. You were just finishing your own exposition here, and I have one tomorrow. Yours was on. You want to go ahead and...
Well, my most recent book is called Venus on Fire, Mars
Okay.
on Ice, Balancing
Okay.
Hormones.
So this is going to be different than the last book.
Well, each book is a progression. I'm an expert in gender differences.
Right.
And what's happening today is a crisis of health and a crisis of relationships. And it's based upon, the root cause is hormonal imbalance. Your average male,
Wow.
40 years old today, has the testosterone levels of a 70-year-old man 30 years ago.
Well, I'm like aging just listening to him.
Yeah, well, we are aging. I mean, it's an
Okay.
amazing phenomenon. And of course, with women having all these menopausal symptoms of hot flashes and mood swings, and this is not common in indigenous cultures.
This is amazing. You're trying to say now that there's a health issue or a hormonal issue related to relationships?
That's right. And not only does it,
Okay.
it dramatically affects our relationships. When a man's testosterone levels start dropping, his interest in sex becomes less. His interest in doing what it takes to have sex, which is to create a little romance,
Okay.
becomes less. More time on the couch and less motivation in his life. Now, he often doesn't even know the difference, but if you ask his wife, she'll say he's changed.
Now, this sounds kind of physical. What about inside, emotional? Are we affected by the hormones, the way we appreciate another person, what we were first attracted to, or do you think that was hormonal? Is that
Everything-
a hard
that-
spiritual thing, or
That,
is it hormonal?
well, as mind, body, spirit is always connected.
Okay.
And you can have, when you're attracted to someone, there's specific chemistry. Your
Right.
body's responding in certain ways.
Yeah,
And
that
there has to
chemistry
be-
is what I want to
Right.
focus
Well,
on.
there's physical chemistry.
Right.
This is my dating program. I explain this because people say, how do you know if the right person is for you?
Uh-huh.
Because you can be really attracted to somebody and then it goes away. Well, that's a physical chemistry that's just built in between some people. So I could be physically attracted to a lot of people, but once I get to know them, I wouldn't feel like I want to be with them because there's not enough emotional connection, natural affection, affinity, liking someone. That's heart connection. And then there's mental connection. For a relationship, really, I've been with my wife 30 years. And to continue growing in love and feel passion and excitement when you're with each other, and to have a libido and a good relationship, that's a big part of it. There needed to be some physical chemistry, emotional chemistry. I just like her. I love her. I like her. And then there's something called mental chemistry, which is she stimulates me. She's interesting to me. Sometimes she's funny to me. Sometimes she's interested in things that I wasn't. And now I become interested.
You know, I'm thinking that if he's been married for 30 years to the same person, he probably has some pretty good information in this book. So is this book talking about the things that we're sharing right now?
Well, actually, these three kinds of chemistry
Okay.
is in my dating book, but we'll come back to the hormones, and I'll relate them together. Mars, Venus on a date is that one. Because
Okay.
people, is this right? How do I know they're right? What's going on? The fourth type of chemistry is soul chemistry, and that's your spiritual chemistry.
There you go.
That's where one day you wake up and you go, you know, I'm attracted to this person, I like them, I love them, I find them interesting. Boom, I want to share my life with them. Because
Right.
the soul's eternal.
Right.
That's why we call it, you know, soul mates.
Absolutely.
Is when you're in touch with, when you're feeling so safe and so loved, you connect your soul.
Absolutely.
And your soul tells you, it says, hey, you're the one for me. Or your soul might say, you know, I love you, I like you, but you're not the one for me.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of times in my readings, when I do clairvoyant mediumship readings, the issue is relationships. And we have a sort of a spiritual technique where we can actually see that soulmate out there. There's a way to actually see the soul and draw that person to you. But this is a whole new fascinating way where we can actually do something as a process.
Well, the process on a physical level, we have to realize it's the physical is if we're talking spiritual, it's the vehicle. And if the vehicle's not running, it's hard for the spirit to function well through
Right.
the body. So what we want to do is realize as in the mind, so in the body.
This-
As in the body, so in the mind.
This reminds me of like the old adage we used to talk about cars and car parts. You know, if you have the wrong additives going into the gasoline tank, the engine doesn't run, no matter how good that car is, right?
That's right.
So your book is speaking to all these different parts, I take it. So you
Exactly.
bring it
It's
all
always
together.
it's more and more holistic.
Wow.
People say, "Why you bring everything into it?" Because I started out talking a lot about relationships and of course gender specific and tools. Once you have good relationship skills, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to have lasting passion. And if you run out of passion, often your relationship isn't as good as it could be. So what you
Okay.
need is to make sure your body is sustaining the production of those hormones. Let me give you an example. One of the things I teach about in the book, Venus on fire. What that means by fire and ice is the ice is men become icy, which means we become a little bit more withdrawn, less interested.
Now wait a minute.
Less
Is
passionate.
he talking to me here? Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
And women become overwhelmed.
Right.
And actually, when they go into menopause, they really become on fire. They say, I'm angry
fire
with this
and ice,
guy,
yeah.
I resent this guy, I want to kill this guy. I mean, they'll laugh about it, but they really get mad.
Right.
And so it can happen. But more importantly, the fire part of it is the overwhelm that women are feeling today.
Yeah.
A lot of overwhelm.
This is very consistent with what
Yeah.
I'm getting when they come for a spiritual reading on relationships too.
So there you
So
go, the fire and
there's a
ice thing.
hormonal difference. there.
Hormonal foundation. Here's how our bodies are designed
Okay.
differently. This is universal. Every man, every woman. A healthy male, no matter there's always a spectrum of masculinity to femininity. But if you have a male body, in order for you to be healthy and happy and motivated and have a libido, all those things are dependent upon having enough testosterone in your body.
Okay.
That's not the only thing. But if your testosterone levels start to lower, you become grumpy, irritable, less motivated, less energy, and less interested in sex and romance.
So now there are different kinds of hormones, right?
Lots of hormones,
But this
for men,
particular one, is the one-
testosterone is
okay.
the most significant hormone for man's health. For
Okay.
example, if you look at low testosterone levels are directly linked to prostate cancer in men.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. There's not a man with prostate cancer with healthy testosterone levels.
So we're going to take care of the whole body. it
And
sounds
low
like.
testosterone levels is directly linked to heart disease. It's one of the most,
Okay.
for men, one of the biggest indicators of your risk of heart disease is low testosterone.
Okay.
Grumpiness, irritableness, and even violence. You know, people always think testosterone and violent men have high testosterone. No, they're testosterone.
Just the opposite.
Just the opposite.
Wow.
Now, it's not just low testosterone
Okay.
that creates violence. Violence is created through two things. Conditioning that says violence is justifiable. A lot of kids are trained.
Mhm.
If your child misbehaves, you spank them, you yell at them, you punish them. You're training them that if a person's bad, they should have bad things happen to
So
them.